Hey, Class 10, welcome. Are you ready to absolutely nail one of the most important chapters for your board exams? Here at A1 Institute, we're going to break down resources and development and make it so clear you'll be wondering why it ever seemed complicated. Let's jump right in. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a really interesting puzzle about resources. Then we'll look at how we plan them out. After that, we'll dive into the big picture of India's land, how we use it, and wrap up with the super important idea of conservation. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be totally exam ready. All right, first up, let's get our brains working with a bit of a paradox. Have you ever stopped to think why some places that are loaded with natural resources, we're talking minerals, forests, the whole shebang, are still economically poor? It's a real head-scratcher, and it's right at the heart of this chapter. Now, this is a classic exam question, so you'll want to pay close attention here. Think about it. We have states like Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh just overflowing with valuable minerals. So why do they often face major economic challenges? What's the missing piece of this development puzzle? It all comes down to balance. See, it's not just about what you have, it's about what you can do with it. You could be sitting on a mountain of gold, but if you don't have the technology to dig it up or the skilled people to manage it, it's pretty much just a mountain. So the key takeaway is this: real development happens when you combine resources with technology and human skills. Just having the raw materials is never enough. So, if just having a ton of resources isn't the answer, then what is? How does a country like India actually turn all its natural gifts into real, tangible progress for its people? The answer is a concept you absolutely need to know for your exams: resource planning. Okay, that's the official textbook definition, and yeah, you should probably remember it. But what does it really mean? Put simply, resource planning is just about being smart and responsible with what we have. It's like having a thoughtful strategy for how we use our resources so they don't just benefit us right now, but our kids and grandkids too. And this isn't just some vague idea, it's a very clear three-step process. Step 1, you got to figure out what you've got. You survey, you map, you make a detailed list of every resource. Step 2, you build a plan. How are we going to get these resources? What tech do we need? And step 3, you make sure that plan lines up with the country's bigger goals. See the logic? Find it, plan it, and then make it part of the national mission. All right, now that we've got the theory down, let's see how this all applies to our single most fundamental resource, our land. The way India's land is divided up and how we use it is a massive part of our development story. It's the perfect real-world example of resource management in action. Just look at this breakdown. It gives you such a great snapshot of India's landscape. A whopping 43% is plains. That's our breadbasket, where most of our food is grown and industries are built. Then you've got 30% mountains, which aren't just for pretty views. They're the source of our life-giving rivers. And that last 27%? That's our plateaus, basically treasure chests filled with minerals and fossil fuels. Every single part is absolutely vital. Here's another way to look at it, a nice visual that breaks down those percentages. You can really see how much the plains dominate our landscape, and that tells you why agriculture is so critical to our economy. This is a great mental image to lock in your brain for your exams. Okay, pop quiz time. This is exactly the kind of question that pops up on exams, so let's work through it. We know the total land area, and we know the percentage that's plains. So how do you figure out the actual area? Take a quick second and think it through. See, it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is take that total area, 3.28 million, and multiply it by 0.43, which is just 43% as a decimal. And voila, you get roughly 1.41 million square kilometers. This is such an easy way to score a couple of quick marks, so make sure you remember how to do this simple calculation. So, we know the physical makeup of our land, but how do we actually use it? The government has 5 main categories for land use, and knowing the difference between them is really important for your exams. Let's break them down. Here are the big 5. First, you've got forests. Easy enough. Second is land that we can't farm on. Think of barren wastelands or land used for our cities, roads, and buildings. Third is other uncultivated land, like pastures where animals graze. Fourth is a really interesting one: fallow lands. This is basically farmland that's taken a break, left unplanted so the soil can recharge its nutrients. And finally, the big one for our food security, the net sown area. That's the land where crops are actually growing right this minute. Now, it's obvious we need to use our resources to develop and grow. But what happens when we go too far, too fast? Well, you get massive problems like land degradation and pollution. This brings us to our final and maybe most critical topic, conservation. It's all about ensuring we have a sustainable future. And this idea of conservation is nothing new. People have been sounding the alarm for decades. Back in 1968, the Club of Rome was one of the first major groups to warn about using up our resources. Then in '74, a famous book called Small is Beautiful brought back Gandhian philosophy. But the real game changer was in 1987, when the Brundtland Report officially gave us the term sustainable development, that amazing idea of meeting our own needs without messing things up for future generations. And honestly, if you want to understand the spirit of conservation, it's all captured in this one powerful quote from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "There's enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed." It's just a profound reminder that the earth provides enough for us to live, but not enough to satisfy endless greed. Seriously, dropping this quote in an exam answer, instant bonus points. So, there you have it. A quick tour of all the key ideas from resources and development. We've untangled that resource paradox, walked through the 3 steps of planning, looked at India's land use, and talked about the vital importance of conservation. You are now armed with the knowledge to totally ace this section. I really hope this explainer made the chapter a lot clearer for you. If it did, do me a favor and hit that like button. Share it with your classmates and definitely subscribe to the A1 Institute channel for more content just like this. And hey, if you need more help, like detailed notes or personal guidance, our phone number and contact info are all in the description below. We are here to help you succeed. Keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next one.